Hey, I'm Loudenslager, founder of Lauten Audio, and today I'm going to show you how to change the bands on the LA-320 shock mount. Okay, first thing I'm looking for is a nice stable surface to work on. And one thing I want you to know is if your band is already broken or disconnected, then don't worry about it, but note the flow of the bands, how the bands come to the upper posts on the inner cage, to the lower post on the outer cage. This is typically one of the more confusing things of when the bands are coming back on. So let's go ahead and unhook them, which is pretty easy. Once you do this, most of it's going to come apart anyway. And you can remove the inner cage. And here's the outer cage. So now, when I'm putting new bands onto there, I want my inner cage to be upside down. And the next thing I'm going to do, grab one of your bands, and I like to ensure that the bands kind of have a flex going either this way or that way. And I like to ensure that my flex is kind of going in an upward motion. And the reason why is I want to put them underneath the inner cage posts that are touching my nice secure surface. And that way, they're kind of already going in the direction that I want them to go in, okay? If you can think about it beforehand, how everything's going to go together, and you want where the bands connect, where they're crimped together. If you want it toward the back, just kind of notate that as you're putting things back together. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to try to create 4 points in my lower shock mount cage, or inner shock mount cage, sorry. So I'm going to put that out here, and now I'm going to pull the band out there. And you'll notice that the band kind of has a natural way that it wants to flow. Sometimes you can just twist it with your fingers and change how that wants to flow. It can make it easier for you. You can see how mine keep wanting to pop out. I'm trying to find where it wants to go down. So let me go ahead and try this. You can try and use some other fingers to put them on the post so the band can't come out. There we go. Okay, so when you have your band placed properly, you'll see these 4 points sticking out like this, as even as possible, okay? And you want your band in the underneath already through those posts. So it's kind of in the center, as you can see there, right? It's between those posts. Trying to put that band on there after you're placing this outer cage is gonna be awfully difficult and almost impossible. So as we're putting the outer cage into these, you want to be careful. It's going to require some patience. It's probably going to take you more than one time, but you want to watch that these don't come unhooked from those posts, and you want these outer things to hook to the posts on the bottom of the outer cage as we press down. So as you can see, I have it prepped and ready to go. My posts are kind of in between. Notice where all my fingers are. They're kind of getting ready to hold the band onto the post, and I'm just going to quickly press down and get these guys all to hook together, like so. And now, what I want to do is take this band that we already have prepped in the bottom. So I take this guy, hook it, and one thing you have to do, you're going to have to push down on the outer cage the same time that you're manipulating the lower band. It can be kind of tricky. I like to put a finger on a post, and that way that band's not going to slip off there because my finger's on there. And now I'm going to take the band on the other side, pull it up, and hook it around the post. And pull my band through. Getting my finger underneath there, pulling it up from the bottom, hooking it. Now, again, I'm still keeping pressure on this outer cage. Now I have to grab the band from here, pulling it out, and again, snapping it onto this post. Then, if your shock mount is a little discombobulated and crooked, you can kind of manipulate them. Mine turned out pretty well this time. And that's how you put bands onto a LA-320 shock mount.